Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this week's Frequency Intel. I'm Kimberly Pence, and I'm going to be sharing with you the frequencies and energies that are currently here for us to work with and to support us. And I just want to begin this week's Frequency Intel by just taking a minute to really welcome in the frequency of Divine Mother of Christ Sophia consciousness and that softness that comes when we connect into and tap into this aspect of Divine Mother and allow that frequency to just permeate the space that you're in when you're hearing this. And just as a reminder, whenever you're finding this particular frequency intel, it has meaning and purpose, and possibly some information and healing frequencies that would be beneficial for you. And that is my hope and my intention for sharing these frequency intel, is to allow for the beneficial, the beneficent, the beautiful, the Father, Mother, God frequencies of light and of limitless universal love, the intelligence of the universe, to speak with all of us, to support all of us, and just to acknowledge that we are in a time of unprecedented transformation on this planet. And it has been really intense, and it continues, that amplification of intensity continues to multiply. And so that's why this frequency of softness is really wanting to come in and support us right now. So I wanted to just open this frequency intel. I'm recording this on January 21st, 2024. We're nearing the end of the first month of the year of 2024, of the most magnificent and great change in the collective consciousness of humanity. This is a pivotal year of change, and right now we're in this beautiful energy of a Leo full moon. That energy is beginning to amplify and to support us, and the frequency of the heart is very prevalent right now. So we're going to be working with the heart, and I'm going to be sharing 3 strategies here today to work with this energy that is here on the planet. So when I tapped into the collective consciousness, I could feel a great sense of overwhelm. This overwhelm of the mind, and the overwhelm of doing, and the overwhelm of feeling like we'll be left behind if we don't just keep producing, we don't just keep going, we don't just keep giving, we don't just keep going. After we know that we don't really have the wherewithal to add one more thing to the list, to the to-do list. And the frequencies are getting super high, so sometimes it's hard for me to pronounce the words that are coming through as I'm starting to channel these really high Sophia Christ consciousness energies. She was really, really here with me. The Holy Spirit was really working with me this morning as I was sort of transcribing and downloading the information that wants to be shared with all of us today. So that's why I stumble over my words sometimes. The energies get super high, and as I'm beginning to translate frequency into spoken word, sometimes the words don't want to flow out. So there's a lot of humility in doing this work, and I feel very grateful and humbled to be able to do this work. So the predominant energy that is here that wants to support us and work with us is the energy of completions. So that can bring up a lot. We are working in so many ways individually with the energy of completions, and the energy of completions can be anything from completing, deciding that we're no longer going to be doing something that we do habitually that's no longer really supportive or beneficial or fulfilling for us any longer. So habits are completing. And we are either consciously or subconsciously putting in place new habits to replace the habits that we're letting go of, that we're choosing to no longer engage in, that that really pull us back into the old energies of self that we are actually leaving. And completions can stir up the energy of a little bit of resistance to change. And the other kinds of completions that are happening on the planet that I am hearing from beloveds and loved ones and experiencing myself are completions of people leaving the planet. So people choosing to take those exit doors that are available to souls on the planet. We have many, many exit doors that open for us, portals to the non-physical realm, to life between lives, that we can choose to take or not during lifetimes. And so there are a lot of people choosing to take those exit doors, walk through those portals and return back to non-physical in the in-between time. And so those completions can stir up a lot of emotions, and completions of old structures in our world, old ways that we created structures to support life here on the planet, education systems, governmental systems, healthcare systems, corporations, all of these things are really shifting. The dynamics on the planet are really changing as we step into the fifth dimensional paradigm of creating from limitless abundance, and we begin to dissolve the scarcity concepts on the planet and the top-down structures of some people have a lot and most people don't have enough. So we're collapsing all of those old structures and creating new structures to replace them. So this is happening. It's happening gently. It's happening in complete support of the cosmic beings of light who are here on the planet, and the photons that are coming to the planet. These new codes that are coming to the planet are so supportive when we know to tap into this. And so those are completions, and a lot of relationship dynamics in completion. So the way that we relate to ourself, we're completing some old cycles of non-beneficial ways of relating to ourself, and we're also completing some cycles in relationship of the way that we have engaged with others. And this is one that's very prominent right now, that is beneficial for us to just have a little peek into the conversation of transactional relationships versus sacred relationships. And I am in no way an expert in any of this. I am with everyone else learning about this new paradigm, this new way of being in relationship with the self, with others, and with the divine. And those three aspects of self, my inner world, my expression out into the world, and my connection to my divine, to the intelligence that is beyond understanding, to the love that is is the frequency of creation that we are held in, and we can think of it like we're held in this nursery, and we're being loved and supported and swaddled as we move through this massive transition on the planet, and we say yes to the changes that are happening. We say yes to the transitions that are happening. We say yes to the things that scare us and the completions that are happening, and we ask then, well, if not this, what else is there? What else can I create? What else is possible? And that frequency is the vibration of limitless creation, of limitless potential. That is the frequency of divine truth. And so we can connect into that as we're moving through these completions right now. And we're always in cycles of completion and beginnings. And, I love to think of the cycles. I haven't talked about this in a while, but I love to think of the cycles as dreaming, and then architecting, and then building, and then coming to completion. And these are the levels of consciousness that we move through as we gain consciousness, as we gain experience to grow consciousness. And so we can utilize those cycles right now and understand that we're in this beautiful completion phase and moving into new levels of relationship, of noticing where we're in transactional relationship with ourselves or with another, or with the divine, where we're in a bargaining phase with the divine. I used to be in bargaining all the time with the divine. If I do this, can I have that? Feeling so disempowered by that conversation. And so I had to reframe and really come into right alignment with the truth of what prayer is. Prayer is simply a conversation with the aspect of self that is the monad, that is the all-knowing, that is the intelligence of all life, that is God, Goddess aspect of true divinity. And so these cycles of completion, this energy, this frequency that's here helping us transition out of transactional living and into sacred living, whether that's in relationship or whether that's in activities and actions that we're taking or something that we're creating, ways that we're creating, things that we're letting go of. Completions are about letting go. And so we're all in this letting go, and to bring mindfulness to the fact that we are letting go of things. And the way that I really was called to reference this letting go is to talk about acknowledging grief. To acknowledge the grief that comes with being human, and to actually allow ourselves to feel the grief, and then to allow it to move through us and not hold on to it and add to the identity of suffering. So one of the things that's completing right now on the planet is the identity of suffering. And by using our ability to choose how we feel and what we focus on, we can actually allow our humanness to have breath, to have space, to be acknowledged. That going through completions can be really challenging depending on what level of completion we're moving through. And to acknowledge the emotions that arise with the awareness of change, the awareness of loss, the awareness of completion, of endings, and to give ourselves a beautiful, soft, nurturing space, that the beautiful space of the Holy Spirit, of the Sophia Christ consciousness, and to hold ourselves in the space, to give breath, to what is arising in our human self, in our human identity. And yeah, I'm collapsing my identity in totality right now, and there has been grief. And so as we allow these changes to occur, these shifts, these completions to happen, when we give ourselves permission to be in our fullness as human beings, we actually allow the energy, the frequencies of grief, the frequencies of sadness, the frequency of confusion, the frequency of uncertainty to actually move through us rather than become our identity. And then we move into the space of liberation, self-liberation. And we move into the ability to choose to focus on the eternal self and allow that to be our guiding compass. Allow that to support, nourish, encourage, and help us move through the changes that we are incurring and that we are creating here on the planet with more ease, with more grace, with more sovereignty. Because we're choosing to focus on what is possible. After we move through the phase of letting go and we acknowledge our humanness and our grief, we can actually move into the space of, okay, I'm here. What now? What next? What else is possible? I've experienced that. I've explored scarcity ad nauseum. I understand what it is to be in the frequency of scarcity. I understand what it is to be in lack or limitation. I understand what it is to have created something that I truly desired and to have let it go so that I can make space for what I'm going to be creating next. So this is how we grow consciousness as a soul. This is how we become enlightened. This is how we grow and move into new bandwidths of accessing sacred knowledge that is within us and that is divinely orchestrated for us. So the strategies that I want to share with all of us to work with this energy of completions, of transitions, of letting go, and moving into that space of the void, in moving into the space of we can use the archetypal energy of the moon, of our internal world. And that's where we're really being guided to be now, is in our internal world, because that's really the only place we have any power to create change, to create new worlds, to create new paradigms, to create new modalities, to create new structures, to create new ways of being in the world. You know, I'm being shown food production, our vital life force energy, the water, the sun, and the nourishment from the soil that we need as human beings. What else is possible? How else can we produce nourishing, vital, illuminated foods to take in and nourish our bodies with, nourish our beautiful vessels that we are gifted here on earth to experience life through? So I know that people are beginning to create new ways of sustainable farming and sustainable animal husbandry and sustainable growth practices that actually contribute to the nourishment of the soil, the nourishment of the earth, and to contributing to the health and vitality of all life here on earth. And so we can that's just one example of that we can focus on the eternal self. And the eternal self is compassionate, that considers all life. That's the self that I'm referring to when I reference the eternal self. And so the strategies that I want to share are heart strategies. We're in this beautiful big heart Leo energy, and I want to share the strategy of coherence, of heart coherence. And there's a lot of material out there in the world about heart coherence. And so I just want to share these 3 simple strategies that I know of and that I've used as a practice to develop this relationship of my heart leading my every choice, my every breath, my every thought, my every action. Because when we move from the heart, when we make choices from the heart, we are in consideration and compassion for all life. So we're moving this, this great journey that we're taking from the mind leading us to the heart leading us, and actually coming into coherence with the mind and the heart being in coherence with each other. So heart coherence breath is the first strategy that I want to share with all of us. And it's a very simple breath, the breath of life, bringing the awareness, your awareness into the space of your heart. And you can do that by simply placing your hands on your heart and allowing for that connection to happen. Just connecting your hands to your heart and feeling the beat of your own heart beneath your hands. Feeling the frequency of your spirit embodied. So this location in the physical body is the location of the Godself. This is the location of the divine self in the physical body. And by just placing your hands here and focusing here, you're connecting with your true identity, not the false identity that we created to fit in and be safe here on earth in the old paradigm. And then beginning the heart coherence breath just by simply slowing your breath down to about 6 beats per inhale and 6 beats per exhale. And then imagining that you're breathing in and out through your heart. And what this does is it actually provides a sacred space for the body, for the nervous system, for the mind, for the organs, for the tissues, for the fluids, for the synapse, to come into coherence, into an alkaline state. So this literally produces an alkaline state of homeostasis in the body when you do heart coherence breathing. And that's something to practice and allow to be a guiding principle. And you can just notice when you're feeling frazzled, or there's a lot going on, or you're feeling overwhelmed, or you're feeling lost. Just come back into heart coherence breathing. And all of those lower vibrational frequencies of fear, of scarcity, of gloom and doom will just melt away. And we can focus back into the frequency of sovereignty and making conscious choices that are liberating, that are life-giving, that are humbling, that are loving, that are compassionate, and we can come back into the state of gratitude for each and every moment. And this is the most powerful state that we can be in. is in the state of gratitude, in the state of love, in the state of coherence, in the state of compassion. And all of our actions, all of our choices elevate into a state of love for all beings. There's no trying. We become it. And so the second strategy that I want to share is a heart-mind coherence meditation that is very powerful and very simple, that takes us into a state of divine mind or into the Godself. And it brings a coherence into an empowerment as we are creator gods here on earth, and allows our mind to begin to live from that perspective, that we are creator gods here on earth, creating in new ways. And so if you want to join me at this time, or you want to come back to this very short guided meditation, you're welcome to close or lower your eyes and to just bring your awareness inside. Bring your awareness into your interior world, and allowing for the sounds, for the frequencies, for whatever's going on around you in the external world to fade into the background, and bringing your power of focus into the center of your body. And seeing, sensing, feeling, imagining a beautiful double-ended, four-sided diamond in the center of your being. And allowing that diamond to begin to pulsate and vibrate and spin with vital life force energy. And see the light inside of the diamond, pulsating and vibrating at the frequency of unification. And then projecting that light from the interior of the diamond of you, of your consciousness embodied, up through your throat and into the center of your brain. Illuminating your brain. And allow that light to begin to weave between the two hemispheres of your brain in a figure 8 infinity loop of light, cohering, coalescing the right and left hemisphere of your brain into one unified whole. The divine mind. And this is actually bringing your human self and your divinity, your soul, into coherence. And you can feel the frequency shift of internal collaboration. And just allowing for any disharmonic frequencies of separation, concern, of worry, low self-worth, no self-worth, confusion, to spin out of your aura, leaving only coherence, only harmony. The light of the divine penetrating and pulsating every atom, every particle. in a state of unification, a heart-mind coherence, of unity consciousness. And this is the signature of oneness, of totality, of absorbing back into source consciousness and understanding that you are the divine, that you are the creator of worlds, that you are a creator God. And just feel the joy that that brings. And leaving that energetic structure, that structure of light in place, and giving it permission to be your new operating system. And anytime that you feel something pull you out of your center, you can simply return to this heart-mind coherence, to that visualization. It's now part of every cell, every molecule of your being. And you're attuning to the frequency of coherence as the creator God that you are. And so the third strategy that I want to share here is the alchemical structure of the stone, of the rock, of stability. So we can connect with the earth, with the frequency of the bedrock of the earth. And we can easily do that by projecting into the mountains of the earth, or simply exposed stone, exposed bedrock of the earth. We can connect into the crystal fields and the granite boulders. We can connect into the riverbeds. We can connect into the Grand Canyon. We can connect into the Rio Grande Gorge. We can connect into the simple pebble on the street. All of these substances are an alchemical process of sustainability and longevity, and they hold both our divine aspect and our human aspect as equal, as one. And so this ritual that I want to invite you into is a beautiful ritual of completion and new beginnings. So the ritual is very simple. You want to choose 2 stones. They can be crystals, they can be a rock out of the garden, they can be the rock of Gibraltar, and you can bilocate to be there with that stone. They can be the most humble rock, or they can be a diamond. And to choose one rock that you are going to place all that you're releasing, all that you're letting go of, into that stone, into that rock. And you're going to choose the other rock to place all of your dreams, all of your desires, all of your becoming into that stone. And a very shamanic practice is using the breath to do this. And so you're going to spend some time really feeling into what it is you are choosing to let go of at this time, what you're choosing to complete, or what completions are happening around you that you are connecting into, that you are working with in your humanity and in your divinity. And simply bringing to mind, bringing into your awareness those completions, those endings, those releases of ideas, things, people, activities, ways of seeing yourself, belief systems, concepts, constructs, imprints, old contracts, old identities. And you're going to blow those into the rock of release, into the rock of letting go, into the rock of completion. And then you're going to spend some time daydreaming and imagining and feeling into your sacred creatorship, into your Godself, and asking What wants to be birthed through me now? What desire have I never given myself permission to claim and own because I didn't believe that it could happen or that I was worthy of having whatever that is? Moving into that dream state of your innocent wonder and asking, what else is possible for me now? And then using your sacred breath, the creator that you are, and blowing those new dreams, those new realities, those new desires, those new beliefs, those new concepts, those new constructs, those new ideas into the stone of your becoming. And these stones are sacred allies. This is a sacred relationship with the stone kingdom, with the planet, with what the planet is truly made out of. And having this sacred unity of the release and the becoming. And then choosing to end the ritual with 2 actions. Taking the stone of release and letting it go. And sometimes it can be very powerful to choose a stone that you're very attached to for this, that you really value. And that is a sacred act of trust, of letting go of something that you really hold dear and value and placing what you're releasing into it and then letting it go. And that is a sacred act of trust in the divinity of all life, to know that you are divinely supplied, that you are divinely supported and guided at all times. And then releasing that out into the world, however that works for you. And then the last part of the ritual is to take the stone of your becoming and to place it on your altar and to light that sacred flame to your becoming and claiming it. This is what I am choosing for myself and for the good of all humanity, for the good of all beings at this time. And placing that stone on your altar. So that is the ritual of the stone. And really working with the sacredness of stability, of the stone, of the anchor. What anchors you into life? What anchors you into the becoming of yourself, into the who you are choosing to become now and what you're choosing to contribute to the collective change that we're creating, this new world, this new heaven on earth, this new golden age of humanity, where it's safe enough for us to reclaim the ability for telepathic communication, where we actually don't cause harm with our thoughts any longer. That's a big statement. Where we don't cause harm with our thoughts any longer. So that's something to begin to explore. How am I contributing to the good of humanity, to the good of the planet, to the good of our species, to the good of all life with my thoughts? And how am I causing harm with my thoughts and choosing to stop doing that? It can be as simple as that. So that's a little drop in from the Holy Spirit, from Divine Mother. Her frequency is so gentle and so loving and so filled with compassion. I can barely speak. Oh my goodness. So I want to end this frequency intel with just some beautiful love and encouragement that came from Sophia, from the divine, from all of life in love and gratitude. And that is a question to leave you with for this frequency intel. So the question to ask is, what sustains me? What sustains me, and how often do I give myself permission to have that? Whatever that is. We need sustenance right now. We need care right now. We need to really become familiar with and conscious of what it is that sustains us, that lifts us up and anchors us into our own joy, our own gratitude, our own love. What helps us feel loving towards ourselves? What is that thing? What are those things that sustain me? That is the ponderance that we're being left with at the end of this frequency intel. And then one thing to ask is, am I in sustaining energy, or am I in maintaining energy? When we're in maintaining energy, we tend to say yes to one more thing when we really don't have the bandwidth to say yes. We tend to add one more thing onto our plate and let our egos pile on the to-do to keep us busy, to keep us distracted, to keep us externalized rather than in our internal world of this state of homeostasis and gentleness as we ride these really wild energies of change that are happening in the collective consciousness and these really intense frequencies on the planet. The dismantling and the beings on the planet who are not choosing to wake up, who are not choosing to change, those frequencies are very dense. And for those of us who are empathic, those of us who feel, those of us who sense, those of us who are psychic, those of us who are very connected to the collective, we can feel those incredibly dense energies, and we can sometimes forget and get pulled down into them. And so we want to understand the difference between sustaining energies and maintaining energies. And we want to focus on what sustains us. Is it simply practicing the heart coherence breath when you feel a little bit exhausted or overwhelmed and you need some renewal? You need some reconnection? Is it holding your beloved's hand? Is it making a really simple, beautiful, nourishing meal when you always just eat from the refrigerator, and sitting down and maybe lighting a candle to yourself and saying, "Oh my God, I love you. And I'm preparing this beautiful, nourishing meal for you right now." And when are we going into the energies of maintaining? Just like, oh my God, if I can just get through this one more thing, it'll be all right. So we want to move out of the energies of doing, that's maintenance, and into the energies of being, into honoring this beautiful, divine, sacred, feminine energy of learning how to be in our creatorship, in our Godself. And then taking action from that self in balance and harmony with this beautiful energy of the divine masculine, the divine creator God within each of us. And that is the great central sun, so we can connect into the energy of the sun for taking that next step, for becoming empowered, for energizing the action that is coming from the knowing of the divine feminine and taking action with the divine masculine energy. So we're working with the moon energy of the divine feminine being and going internal, and the divine masculine energy of taking action and moving out into the world with this fire energy. So working with that balanced water energy and fire energy. The moon energy is water, the sun energy is fire. The moon energy is feminine, the sun energy is masculine. And so weaving those two energies together creates a sustained whole. And we move into that, what sustains us is the beautiful steam that's created when you combine water and fire together as one. And so I'll leave you there for this week's frequency intel. Please remember to like and share and subscribe to the channel to help it grow and become sustaining for all life. All right. I love you dearly, and I look forward to seeing you next week on the Frequency Intel. In the meantime, I love you. I love you.